We're going to go ahead and get started because I do like to start on time. So I'm going to shut my video off so I am not distracting. All right. So I am super excited to have you all here, and I'm even more excited to dive into this masterclass all about balancing your hormones, regulating your nervous system, and taking back control over your body. Again, this is specifically for women with PCOS who are ready to step into the highest version of themselves. So I'm going to be talking about what I've learned through my own experience with losing weight with PCOS, my health coach training, my Kundalini yoga teacher training, and running women through my protocol, the Empowered Woman's Weight Loss Method. And I'm excited to share all of this with you today. All right, so this is totally jam-packed. I know that your time is unbelievably valuable. I know you're busy. I totally get that devoting 60 minutes to anything is a big deal. So I want to give you as much information as possible, and I know this will change your life. All right, so just to introduce myself, again, or if you have never met me before, hi, I'm Katie. I'm an integrative nutrition health coach, a Kundalini yoga teacher, and a certified personal trainer. And I help women with PCOS lose weight so they can have the energy, confidence, and peace to become this confident, badass goddess. So today we're going to dive into 3 big topics on how to lose weight easily with PCOS and become confident AF so that you can stop feeling like you're meant for something more and actually be able to live the life that you really want. So first, you need to understand that being a woman with PCOS means weight loss is different for you. I hear all the time that weight loss is hard for women with PCOS, and I totally appreciate that. I used to feel that way. But what I really want to help you do is bust that myth, to help you reprogram your thoughts to say weight loss for women with PCOS is different, not necessarily hard. And so the problem with weight loss today is that it is not designed for women with PCOS, because PCOS comes with a whole host of underlying issues that things like calorie counting and cutting out carbs just are not going to fix. These traditional methods are all focused completely on food and exercise. Not to say that those things are not important, but when it comes to PCOS and unleashing your highest potential, we need to focus on things like stress management and mindset as well. Because these methods are not targeting things like hormonal alignment and toxic overload, they leave you feeling like you're fighting for every single pound lost and like a huge failure, because let's be honest, they just do not work for PCOS. Weight loss is usually tailored more to men's bodies, and it's all about the go, 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 aggressive, go hard in the gym, do as many reps as possible, keep your willpower up to stay on your diet kind of energy. And this just leads to diet burnout and overwhelm and ultimately failure, especially for women with PCOS. So who here feels like they're fighting against their body when it comes to trying to lose weight with PCOS? I know that I definitely felt like that. A lot of my clients have felt like that. You've tried all those diets, counted all your calories, spent hours on the treadmill, done challenges, detox teas, tried countless supplements, but those things just aren't working for you. And again, that's because these traditional methods focus on the wrong things. It completely ignores the importance of hormonal alignment, healing your stress response, shifting your mindset, and optimizing your energy. And when you're trying to lose weight with PCOS, we have to focus on these things in order to be successful. Okay, so in order to lose the weight, calm your PCOS symptoms, and become the best version of yourself, you need to master 3 things. So first, we'll understand how unmanaged PCOS leads to hormonal chaos, causing things like weight gain, irregular cycles, and hair growth, and how to move from a place of hormonal chaos into hormonal alignment. Next, we're going to take a look at how your nervous system became dysregulated and how to regulate it so you can release that extra weight. And then lastly, and probably my most important or my most favorite pillar, is we are going to look at how to take back agency over your body so that you can work with your body rather than fighting against it. So weight loss becomes effortless. And because a lot of times women with PCOS just feel like they have no control over their body, right? They feel like the PCOS is running them and not the other way around. And so this training is packed with tons of information and I don't want you to miss any of it. So it's important to block out all distractions. We're going to be talking a lot about energy here today. So it's important you focus your energy and attention on the training. So that might mean putting your phone down, maybe even leaving it in another room, closing all your tabs. I know I'm guilty of having like 1,000 tabs open like all the time, but you can always come back to them. They are saved in the history tab. You can come back to them when this is over. But I really want you to get the most out of this training. So make sure you give this your full attention. All right, if you're excited to get started, put Goddess in the chat right now. I'm so happy that all of you are here. So again, thank you so much for being here. And you definitely want to stay till the end because I'm going to come back on camera at the end and we'll do that Q&A session as well. All right. Okay, so let me know in the chat if this sounds like you. You don't understand why your friends and family can lose weight so easily and you can't. You feel like even if you ran marathons every day, you'd somehow still gain weight. You've tried every single diet known to man, or you felt like you have. You constantly stress about what food will do to your body. You literally cannot think of anything other than how the hell do I lose this weight? You want to be able to actually enjoy food rather than stressing about what it will do to you and what exactly you should eat. You want nothing more than to feel confident and comfortable in your body and in your life. And you feel like your weight is holding you back from truly being able to live your life. And so tell me in the chat if that feels like you, if you resonate with that. Right, this is one scenario that I see a lot. You feel like you're capable of more. You're trying everything you can to take back control of your body, but you feel stuck, which is making you feel overwhelmed and burnt out because you can't figure it all out. This feeling of being trapped is starting to come out in things like feeling this need for control, resenting others, nitpicking at small things that probably don't matter in the long run, perfectionism, getting irritated really easily, and then eventually feeling lethargic. Not to mention, you can't fit into your clothes, even if they fit yesterday. You spend hours staring at yourself in the mirror, picking apart everything that you think is wrong with your body. You live your life in flowy athleisure to hide your problem areas. You don't want to be intimate with your partner. You can't go anywhere without worrying what everyone else thinks about how you look. You're tired of watching other people reach their goals while you stand on the sidelines. You're exhausted all day, even after a full night of sleep. You have trouble concentrating. Your sex drive is non-existent, and you get irritated at everyone for the tiniest things. And so tell me in the chat if you are experiencing these things. You start to feel broken and like you're a failure because you just can't seem to get this right. All right, and all of this leads to the second stage. This is where you feel this need to be perfect, but you've already tried everything you can think of and it's just not happening for you. You start to think, why even try if you can't get there? You feel like your weight gain is so random anyways, so there's no point in trying to control it. So you go ahead, you eat a whole pizza because you're like, screw it. But then you end up with this massive guilt because you ate a whole pizza and you feel bad about that. So tell me in the comments which stage you're in, that first stage of trying and trying and trying and nothing is working, or that second stage where you're feeling like maybe there's no point in trying because you've tried everything and you're almost at that point where you're like, I don't know where to turn. All right, so what happens if we don't fix this? Yes, where you are right now isn't optimal, but the thought of what happens if things get worse is pretty terrifying. So here's what I don't want for you. Continuing down the path you're on, getting more and more exhausted, gaining more and more weight, feeling like you'll just have to settle for the situation you're in, bored, unfulfilled, living in fear of diabetes or infertility, wondering what could have been if you could just lose the weight, if you could just push through these blocks and feel like the person you know you were meant to be. I don't want you to feel unworthy and hide your light from the world, because by doing that, you're not only cheating yourself, but you're cheating everyone else around you. You spend the rest of your life settling for being less than, for mediocrity, not loving yourself. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a world where people are living less than their highest potential and where they don't love themselves, right? I want you to shine brightly and know that you are so amazing. Right, so does anyone have that fear that you'll have to settle for the rest of your life, knowing that there's more, it's just out of your grasp? Let me know in the chat if that is you. I don't say these things to make you feel bad. I say them because I've been through it and I don't want that for you. I felt stuck, scared, confused, like I wasn't worth it. And I don't want you to continue down this path being okay with mediocrity, not thinking you're worth it. I want to help you realize your full potential because it's there waiting. We just need to activate it. So type "I'm ready" in the comments if you are ready to gain that confidence and activate your full potential, because that is what we are here to do today. All right, awesome. As a woman with PCOS, weight loss is going to be very different for you. These methods that you've tried before, like 1,200 calorie diets, personal trainers, and detox teas, do not address the root cause for your weight gain, like insulin resistance, inflammation, and hormonal imbalances in the first place. They don't feel right. They feel constraining and restrictive, and like you are fighting to lose even just 1 pound. And again, that's because these methods are not designed for women with PCOS and actually work against you rather than for you. You are a star shape that is trying to fit into a square box. So we need to get you a weight loss plan that is star shaped. Not to mention, most of these methods are only temporary if they even work at all, and they can actually cause increased stress, weight gain, low energy, irregular periods, constipation, mood swings. And these are all things that we're trying to prevent, not make worse. So that's why we're going to focus on the strategies that energetically align with you and work for PCOS, so you can have increased energy, that constant sense of calm, the confidence to unleash your amazing potential, and a body that you love. So if you fully understand the process that I'm going to share with you today, you're going to become that Zen Mary Poppins superwoman ready to take on the world. Only these women that understand how to balance their mind-body hormone connection, regulate their nervous system, and align with their divine feminine energy so that they can work with their body will be able to have the confidence, energy, mental clarity, and body to turn the hurricane that is your life into this perfectly ordered calm. So imagine this: you spring out of bed full of energy. You can't wait to get dressed because you love how you look in every single outfit in your wardrobe. You feel calm, cool, and collected, even in the most stressful situations. Your outer confidence matches your inner confidence. You feel like you're reaching your full potential. You look forward to summer because you actually like how you look in shorts and a tank top. Your relationship is on fire because you and your partner can't keep your hands off of each other. And you don't feel like PCOS is running your life. So tell me in the chat if this is what you want. But a hell yes in that chat if this is the life you want for yourself. Right. So this masterclass is for you if you have ambition and are ready to be your highest self. You want to feel confident and in control of your body. You want to feel like a Zen goddess instead of a Tasmanian devil. You want to work with your body instead of fighting against it. And you are ready to embrace your feminine energy and natural energy from the universe flowing through you. All right, now I truly mean this when I say this is not going to be a fit for everybody. So if you only care about being stick thin and you don't care how you get there, you aren't ready to tap into your natural energy, you want a quick fix, or you don't want to take a natural approach, it's okay if you want to go ahead and just leave. That's totally fine. I totally understand. Most of my clients have gone on to lose quite a bit of weight, but that's never the only goal. I want more for you than just a good-looking body, right? I want you to have the energy, the confidence, and the zen to crush your goals. So this is not for women who only care about what their dress size is, who want to live off of 1,200 calories a day and try to exercise off their food, who are looking to only drink a shake once a day and magically see 30 pounds fall right off. You don't care about your energy, stress, or higher self. You only want to look good in a bikini, or you aren't willing to look beyond just food and exercise to solve your problems. Full transparency, at the end of this masterclass, I will make an offer to you for an exclusive opportunity to work with me, because I will be inviting you to work with me inside of my protocol, the Empowered Woman's Weight Loss Method. So just be aware of that and get prepped for it, because I'm so excited to welcome a few of you into this protocol if you are a perfect fit, because my mission on this planet is to help as many women with PCOS as possible feel in control of their bodies and align with their highest self so that they can look, feel, and perform at their best. Women are the future. So put an amen in the chat if you agree. All right, so who is ready to dive right on in? We're going to do that Q&A at the end, like I said, so make sure you stay till the end for the Q&A. And before we dive into tactics, there is a little history lesson that I want to give you on what qualifies me to deliver this life-changing information. All right. So if you weren't here at the very beginning, I'm just going to introduce myself again. I know a couple people came on late, but hi, I am Katie. I want to share with you why I know this and why you should listen to me, because let's be real, there's a lot of BS out there when it comes to weight loss and people claiming to have the miracle pill or cleanse or shake. And it's really just a load of BS, especially for PCOS. So type BS in the chat if you've experienced that, these pills, shakes, cleanses, whatever it may be. Yeah, they don't work. So I've already told you that I'm an integrative nutrition health coach, personal trainer, and Kundalini yoga teacher, and that my passion and purpose is supporting women with PCOS in their health journeys so that they can step into their highest potential and have the confidence to inspire others to do the same. But I too used to struggle with my PCOS and my weight. So I struggled with PCOS, my weight, hormones, and confidence for years. My doctor would always tell me to lose weight, but the only advice they would give me was to eat less and exercise more. Classic, right? My endocrinologist told me that if I didn't exercise every day, I would get diabetes. And they even handed me a healthy, low-cal fast food guide so I could make better choices. Well, I was not going to find them in a fast food guide. I knew I could do better, and I wasn't about to give up on my health just because a low-cal fast food guide wasn't doing the trick. I swam competitively. I worked out extra on the days I wasn't in the pool. I diligently tracked my calories. I cut out soda, fast food, and quote, bad foods, but I never saw any changes. Instead of seeing my PCOS like a roadblock, like all my doctors said it was, I saw it as something to push me even harder to lose the weight. I didn't want to end up with diabetes or fertility issues, let alone be overweight the rest of my life. But it was so hard to fight the exhaustion, the brain fog, and constant self-criticism that came with the dieting and the failure. My perfectionism caused me constant torment. I knew I was better than this. I knew I was better than my weight. I knew I had the potential to be a force in the world, but I didn't have the confidence to let it show. What changed is I started understanding a few things that I want you to understand as well. First, PCOS does not mean weight loss is harder. It just means it's different. When your hormones aren't balanced, you won't lose weight. Mindset and energy blockages in the body cause weight gain and hold you back from stepping into your full potential. Putting pressure on myself to lose weight and be perfect only left me with a dysregulated nervous system, worse PCOS symptoms, and 30 extra pounds. Overexercising and undereating were not the solution to my problems. In fact, they were making my problems worse. But that got me to where I am now. Calm, confident, and collected, eating dessert without freaking out about what it will do to my body, filling my closet with crop tops, dropping 6 sizes, hardly any PCOS symptoms, having a regular cycle, not feeling like I had to spend all my extra time burning off my food, and feeling aligned with my purpose and connected to the universe. By having this protocol at your fingertips, imagine where you could be in 6 months. So consider this your fast pass. All right, so let's dive into these 3 pillars. All right, so first up, achieving hormonal alignment, how to balance your hormones so that they function optimally and stop the random weight gain. Second, regulate your dysregulated nervous system, healing your stress response so you can become a Zen goddess warrior. And then finally, reclaim agency over your body, how to take back control over your body and work with your natural cycle so you can easily lose weight and unleash your inner goddess. All right, so first pillar, hormonal alignment, balancing your hormones so they work for you, not against you. So you've probably heard talk about balancing your hormones if you've had PCOS for a while, but that can be kind of this vague term or one that feels confusing, or maybe you weren't sure which hormones to focus on or how to balance them. So let's break this down. As a woman with PCOS, the big hormones you need to focus on balancing are insulin and androgens. Yes, other hormones are very important and we'll talk about those, but these are the big 2 with PCOS and actually affect and are affected by other hormones. So let's take a closer look. So we'll start with insulin. 70% of women with PCOS are also insulin resistant. So if you've ever been told you're insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, or are diabetic, this one is especially important for you. Insulin is what helps your cells absorb glucose for energy, right? So your food gets broken down into glucose, and then insulin is what helps that glucose go into your cells. So you're actually getting the energy from the food you ate. But when you're insulin resistant, your body is overproducing insulin because your cells are not recognizing insulin anymore, and that glucose is not getting into your cells, so your blood sugar spikes. This blood sugar spike can also happen when you eat a lot of carbs, which is why a lot of women with PCOS are told to try keto or low carb diets to help control insulin levels and reduce insulin resistance. But these are just short-term fixes because your body needs carbs, and carbs help you balance your blood sugar and insulin levels. So what are some signs that you are insulin resistant? Weight gain, cravings, especially for sugar or sweets, energy crashes, feeling hungry even after you just ate, having to pee like a lot, like constantly needing to go pee, tingling in your hands or your feet, stress, especially anxiety or feeling like you can't handle stress, like if something small comes up, feeling like you're gonna cry because you just can't handle it, and high androgen. So this would look like acne, irregular cycles, and hair growth on your face. So tell me in the chat if you are experiencing any of those things. All right, now the other big issue for women with PCOS is excess androgens, which you'll notice can be caused by insulin resistance. Androgens are hormones in women that are we typically think of as providing male traits like testosterone. That is an androgen. That's because excess insulin can tell your ovaries to produce extra testosterone, but you don't have to be insulin resistant to have PCOS or excess androgens. However, if you have PCOS, you most likely have excess androgens like testosterone. So this shows up as irregular cycles, acne, weight gain, hair where you don't want it, like your face, your stomach, or your chest, balding on your head, mood swings, and low libido. So does this sound like what you're experiencing? Let me know in the chat. Unfortunately, these hormonal imbalances can also affect progesterone, estrogen, and cortisol. And that can mean stress, PMS, heavy or painful periods. I know quite a few women with PCOS, they won't have a period for 6 months, and then all of a sudden they'll have a period for an entire month, and it's so painful and horrible. It can also cause trouble getting pregnant, fatigue, trouble sleeping, racing thoughts. So this wired and tired feeling, low libido, brain fog, bloating, and headaches. So if you're experiencing any of these things I mentioned in the past few slides, then you are in a state of hormonal chaos. So how do we move from a state of hormonal chaos to a state of hormonal alignment? First, let's define hormonal alignment. This is when your hormones are balanced and working properly. So when you're in a state of hormonal alignment, that's when you can reach and maintain a healthy weight. Your cycles are regular and pain-free. You don't have PMS. There's no hair on your stomach, your chest, or your face. You're ovulating regularly and don't experience issues with getting pregnant if that is your goal. You can handle stress without freaking out, and there is no random weight gain. So type me in the chat if this is what you want. So how do we move into this state of hormonal alignment? So luckily, we can work on these imbalances with simple lifestyle changes. So first, eating for blood sugar balance. So that means eating fiber, fat, and protein at each meal. And what that is going to do is help, it's definitely going to help with your weight, but it will also help with curbing cravings, keeping your energy up, and avoiding that 3 o'clock crash. And you'll also feel full. Sustained. You won't have those, oh my goodness, I'm so starving even after I just ate feelings. Also, eating carbs to promote hormonal alignment. Remember, veggies are carbs. Carbs are not the devil. They are not anything to be afraid of. And they are especially important when it comes to hormonal alignment because veggies, especially cruciferous veggies, help promote proper detoxification function, especially with your liver. So if your detoxification pathways aren't working correctly, then you can have some buildup of hormones that maybe needed to leave your body, but just haven't yet, and cause these hormonal imbalances. Next, avoiding food sensitivities, right? So I said avoid, not cut out completely, because I know a lot of people are like, oh no, am I never going to be able to eat my favorite food again? I always use the term avoid because if we say never again, it just gets you into a bad mindset, and it's kind of silly to think you would never eat a certain food again, especially if you really like it. But the common food sensitivities are gluten, dairy, sugar, soy, alcohol, things like that. And what these do is they will cause inflammation and lead to hormonal chaos, and they can also put a lot of stress on your body, which we're going to talk about in just a second. Also, eating clean. So that means eating organic and trying to avoid toxins, because these toxins that are in our food can actually directly interfere with our hormones, right? So these xenoestrogens can lead to estrogen dominance, which means things like PMS, bloating, weight gain, long painful periods. And then also exercising in a way that doesn't stress the body. So basically not overdoing it, because a lot of women with PCOS will just, they hear the classic, eat less, exercise more. So they think they need to exercise more and more and more and more. But if you're exercising and you're not feeling good, you're feeling stressed and hating your life, then you are exercising too much. If you are feeling sick, that means you need to dial it back a little bit. So you should feel good after you exercise, not like you want to die. That is not the goal. And we also want to make changes that are not necessarily food related. So that means correcting toxic overload. So not just in your food, but also in your personal care products, your household cleaners, even in the packaging that your food comes in. mindset and chakra work. So looking at this fear, because a lot of times there's a lot of fear that comes with PCOS, that what if feeling, what if I get diabetes, what if I can't have children, these limiting beliefs and negative thought patterns that are developed after going through this sort of diet cycle. And then these things can also affect the physical, which we talk about a lot actually in my protocol, how these chakras, how these emotions and beliefs will affect and manifest in the body. And then finally, we have managing stress, which we are going to talk about in the next pillar in detail. So go ahead and type alignment in the comments if you know balancing your hormones is something that you definitely need to work on. Yep, definitely. Awesome. All right. So pillar number 2, a dysregulated nervous system. As a woman with PCOS, life can feel overwhelming. Not only are you constantly trying to lose weight, feeling like there's something wrong because it just seems unattainable, but you also have all of these worries in the back of your mind, like what happens if you never get control of your weight? What happens if you get diabetes? Will I ever be able to get pregnant? Am I going to be miserable and sick the rest of my life? On top of that, a lot of women with PCOS are prone to anxiety and have trouble dealing with stress because of the hormonal imbalances that come along with PCOS. So the stress of having PCOS, stress itself feeling stressful, and the stress of daily life, all of these things come together and they dysregulate your nervous system. Stress is part of our daily lives, especially in Western culture. Stress here is like this badge of honor. It's like the more stress you have, the more successful you are. And a little stress is okay. It's when you're constantly bombarded with stress that things start to go south. So stress can come from more obvious things like work, family, societal pressure, like feeling like you need to fit in, health, finances, diet, exercise, especially if you're over exercising, and PCOS, both from the hormonal imbalances and the everyday burden of trying to manage it. And it can also come from things like feeling like you need to be on a specific timeline or that you're running out of time, not feeling like you're living your purpose, feeling like you need to fit into a certain mold, feeling out of control, fear of judgment from others, and feeling stuck or helpless. This constant stress fries your nervous system, leaving you in the constant state of stress or fight or flight. And even though this isn't voluntary, you are literally teaching your body to stay in this cycle constantly. So even though you aren't in any immediate danger you need to escape from, your body cannot tell the difference anymore. Your sympathetic nervous system has completely taken over, which has left you feeling exhausted, irritable, and in a fog. Your sympathetic nervous system is what helps you escape when a tiger is chasing you. It sends all of your energy to your extremities so you can run for your life. Cortisol and adrenaline surge, things like digestion and detoxification take a back seat because you don't need those things to run away from the tiger. You need power in your arms and legs, right? When your sympathetic nervous system takes over, this leads to overproduction of cortisol and insulin, which can cause weight gain, fatigue, low libido, anxiety, racing thoughts, cravings, and trouble sleeping. This is especially bad for women with PCOS. Insulin resistance is one of the most common symptoms of PCOS, like we just talked about, and too much stress can make insulin resistance worse, making it hard to lose weight. And insulin resistance will elevate cortisol levels, making you more stressed. So it's this vicious cycle that we need to solve so that you not only feel less stressed, but you can also lose the weight more easily. Not to mention, too much cortisol also impedes the production of progesterone, making weight gain easier, aggravating PMS, and causing all-day bloating. Basically, when your nervous system is dysregulated, your parasympathetic nervous system can't do its thing, and you just experience a lot of unnecessary, painful, not cool symptoms. Your parasympathetic nervous system is what we call the rest and digest nervous system. It's the one that is important when it comes to proper detoxification, proper digestion, hormonal alignment, including major players in PCOS like androgens, insulin, and sex hormones, weight loss, relaxation, mindfulness, and attunement to your body. This last point is really important because a lot of times what happens in our society, and especially with PCOS, is we don't feel in control of our bodies or our health. And we're going to dive into this in the next pillar, but it's really important to develop that connection to your body so that you can tell what's going on. So just like we talked about when we were talking about hormonal alignment, your body gives you signals. They aren't random. They don't just happen just because. But if you are constantly in a state of stress with a dysregulated nervous system, you have no baseline for what your normal is because your body is in this state of panic 24/7. And we don't want your normal to be panic. What we want is for you to calibrate your energy to a state of calm relaxation so that you can calibrate your health and your body to a state of healing. When you can calibrate to that state of calm, that's when you experience things like self-respect, self-compassion, a healthy sense of drive, relaxation, proper digestion, proper detoxification, and of course, weight loss. So how do we regulate a dysregulated nervous system? So first up, stop over exercising. Too much exercise is going to put a lot of unnecessary stress on the body, and just keep those hormones in that state of hormonal chaos and keep your nervous system completely dysregulated. Two, if you practice yoga, get more out of your yoga practice. So yoga is definitely great for the body, but it is also great for the mind as well. So really think about going within and focusing on an intention if you are someone who practices yoga. Also, start meditating. So I know a lot of people who don't meditate are like, oh, I don't know how to do that, or that's too hard. But meditation can be as simple as just focusing on your breath, or even just going on a walk outside in nature and focusing on what's around you. Also creating boundaries that leave space for self-care. This is a huge one, especially for women. As women, we feel like we aren't really allowed to have boundaries sometimes, or that we need to put everyone else in front of ourselves because we are these caretakers. But it is really important to make and set and hold these firm boundaries, because if you don't have boundaries set, then people will just walk all over you and you'll be even more in this constant state of stress, and we do not want that. And then finally, practicing acceptance and gratitude. All right, on to pillar number 3, my personal favorite pillar, reclaim control over your body. So who is excited to learn about this one? Put me in the chat if you are ready to learn how to be in control of your body. Awesome. Right. Unfortunately, many women with PCOS are told or made to feel like they have no control over what happens to them. They're just told that they're going to be overweight, get diabetes, and never be able to get pregnant. So tell me in the chat if you have experienced this. Like, there was no way to control what was going to happen to you, that your body is broken and you just can't fix it, and you're just going to have to deal with that the rest of your life. It is not a good thing, and unfortunately, it happens way too often. It makes me mad. Your body is not broken, and you have the power to lose weight, not get diabetes, and fall pregnant naturally. The first step in achieving this is realizing that you've been fed a bunch of BS and are in fact in control of your body. Once you take on that responsibility of that control, then you can work with your body rather than fighting against it, and watch the weight come off easily. So one of the big things that I teach my clients with my protocol is to work more with their feminine energy. Now, this has nothing to do with being a woman. It is just a type of energy. But feminine energy is about going with the flow. It's very nurturing. It is all about intuition and having fun. So has anyone here ever tried a diet or exercise program that felt like it was very go with the flow? It was very intuitive, connected to your body, or fun? My guess is probably not, because most of them are not designed that way. Unfortunately, most weight loss programs are not feminine energy driven. They are all about the go, 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 do the most, very restrictive, put you in this box, which is a very masculine energy type thing. That is not good for PCOS. So what I would help my clients do is move from that mindset and method of fighting their bodies to one where they're working with their bodies. And my favorite way to do that is by teaching them how to work with their cycles. Unfortunately, most women are not taught that our cycles are more than just our period and the time in between. Your cycle is actually broken down into 4 phases: menstruation, the follicular phase, ovulation, and the luteal phase. Each phase affects your mood, appetite, and energy levels differently. Working with the natural hormonal changes within your cycle allows your feminine energy to shine through. So what does working with your cycle look like? The ability to eat yummy foods like chocolate. I love chocolate. Ability to give yourself permission to rest and just be. Feeling more in tune with your body. Really developing that intuition, lower stress, and easier weight loss. So type Divine Goddess into the chat if these are things that you want. Okay. So your cycle is dynamic. Your hormones are constantly changing in the same pattern throughout your cycle, and so are the needs of your body. I also want to clarify that these hormonal changes are natural. They're supposed to happen. They are not the same as the hormonal chaos that happens with PCOS. Most traditional weight loss programs are stagnant, meaning they give you a protocol that you stick to the entire time you're on that protocol. It's the same food guidelines, same exercise routine over and over and over and over and over again. The reason for that is because most of these methods were not designed around the female body or our dynamic cycles. They were designed around men's bodies. Men do not have a cycle like we do. Their hormones are not constantly changing in the way that ours are. So trying to stick to a plan designed for male bodies is like trying to feed your dog bird food, right? It's food for pets, but it's not dog food, it's bird food. Let's take a closer look at the 4 phases and what I teach my clients. I find it easiest to think of the phases of your cycle like the 4 seasons. So first up, we have menstruation, and you can think of this like winter. So this is your period. It is a time to rest, relax, eat warm, nourishing foods, right? So all of your hormones that we were just looking at, so estrogen, testosterone are at their lowest, so you don't have a lot of energy. You are supposed to rest during this time. If anyone has ever told you, push through your period, you've got to exercise really hard, no, wrong. This is a time to rest and just take care of yourself, prioritize yourself, especially during this time. Next up, we have the follicular phase, and you can think of this like spring. So this is the time between when your period ends and when you're ovulating. So this is when your energy is on the rise. It's a really good time to start picking up the intensity in your workouts and eat lighter foods. Next is ovulation, and you can think of this like summer. So this is when your energy is at its peak, which means it's a great time for more intense exercise. Light and cooling foods are best during this time because your temperature has actually risen slightly and your appetite is actually slightly suppressed, because when you're ovulating, this is the time to, create a child inside of you if that is your goal. So your body is really prioritizing that over, eating a lot of food. And then finally, we have the luteal phase, which you can think of as fall. So this is the time to start chilling out. Your energy is starting to decline. It's a good time for things like yoga, incorporating more complex carbs, really thinking about starting to get into that hibernation mode. So most other diets are designed around calorie restriction, intense workouts, fasting, or eliminating foods just because. They don't take into account that your caloric needs change, the kinds of food you need change, and the kind of exercise you need changes depending on where you are in your cycle. Now, I know that a really common symptom, obviously, with PCOS is irregular or absent periods. My periods used to be all over the place. So if you're like, but I don't have a regular cycle, don't worry. You can also cycle sync to the moon. So this is how this breaks down. So the new moon is menstruation. So when there's no moon, that would be the same as menstruation. The waxing moon, so when it's getting bigger, is the same as the follicular phase. When the moon is full, that would be ovulation. And then when the moon is waning or getting smaller, that is the luteal phase. The moon is also a great source of feminine energy. So aligning with her cycle will still allow you to tap into that feminine energy. And once you balance your hormones and blood sugar and regulate your nervous system, this will help your natural cycle return. Because the biggest offenders when it comes to an irregular cycle are high insulin levels or insulin resistance, high testosterone levels, high cortisol levels, aka too much stress, over-exercising, and low progesterone levels, aka all common issues for women with PCOS. Okay. Before we continue, I just wanted to remind you why you all showed up today. You showed up because you want to have the confidence to prove to yourself and to the world that you are capable of reaching your full potential and stop feeling like your weight is what's holding you back. So think about how you would feel if you didn't have to spend all day worrying about what to eat. You didn't feel like everyone was constantly judging you. You could enjoy chocolate without feeling guilty. You didn't have to spend all of your extra time working off your food. You had more energy. You didn't have to constantly worry about things like diabetes and infertility due to your weight. You could float through stressful situations with grace and ease. You didn't snap at your partner for small things that don't really matter. You increased the closeness and trust between you and your partner because you look forward to being intimate and had a clear picture of what you were meant to do. Because this is possible for you. At the beginning of this training, I made you a promise. I promised you that by the end of this masterclass, you would know the exact pillars you need to become that Zen goddess warrior so that you can stop feeling like PCOS is running you and feel more in control of your life. Now, here's the thing I want you to remember. Everything I've shared with you today isn't some random theory or some idea I think might work for you. Everything I walked you through today works. It worked for me and it's worked for my clients who all started from a similar spot that you're in right now. I'm not special. They aren't special. We all have work, family, and other obligations. We've all been in that seemingly never-ending diet cycle, and we all want to live as our highest self. And if I could do it, and if they could do it, then I'm so confident that you can do it too. Now you have a choice. You can continue to do what you're doing, counting calories, fighting against your body, driving your nervous system into further and further chaos, hoping that it works, even though it never has before. Or you can choose a simpler path and use the empowered woman's weight loss method that comes with a proven system and accountability so you can get to your goal. I am on a mission to support women with PCOS on both their health and weight loss journeys. I don't want you to continue to be frustrated, continue to feel stuck, and never be able to share your light with the world. I will give you the exact process to reach your goals. Now, this seminar is just a sneak peek into how I help my clients, and as a professional who deeply cares about your health, your body, your mental well-being, it would be irresponsible for me to end this seminar without explaining how I can further support you. So let's dive into how I can further support you. All right, so I am so excited to be sharing this opportunity with you because it is the best way I can help you by personally supporting each of you in the Empowered Woman's Weight Loss Method. This method was designed specifically for women with PCOS to help them lose weight and calm their symptoms naturally. With my protocol, we are going to master the 3 things that we talked about today: hormonal alignment, nervous system regulation, and taking back control of your life. With my high-level mentorship program, most of my clients have lost 20 to 30 pounds within 3 to 4 months, but that's not the only thing I help women accomplish during their time in the program. These women also reduced their PCOS symptoms, increased their confidence, had this sense of calm in stressful situations. They had improved mental clarity. They no longer feel like they're on a diet. They have a deeper connection with their energy and their body. They feel more aligned with their highest selves, and they've lost between 15 and 30 pounds in the course of 3 months. So let's take a look at a couple of these success stories. So first, I want to tell you about Marla. Marla came to me when she was at her heaviest weight. She had tried low-cal, low-carb, beach body, plant-based diets, but nothing worked for her. She felt restricted and viewed dieting as punishment. The worst part was that she never saw results. She was still overweight. She had bad PMS and painful periods. She wanted to stop the dieting and make changes that would allow her to take back control over her body without feeling like she was limited. After working with me for 3 months, Marla drastically reduced her PMS, lost 23 pounds, and feels confident and in control of her body, and she loves eating brownie sundaes. Here's what Marla had to say about her time with me. I've learned so much about hormones, my body, and food, and how they all work together. Now that I know how these things work together, I feel better, look better, and have a different relationship with food. I know what my body needs and to treat food as medicine for my body. My skin cleared up, my hair is a bit thicker, and my nails are awesome. I never feel deprived of anything. I actually feel like I have more options and ways to be creative in the kitchen. I also don't have to count calories or carbs. My lifestyle has changed completely, and I love it. Then there's Sherry. Sherry also came to me after realizing that not only was she at her heaviest weight, but the scale was continuing to move in the wrong direction. When we first talked about getting her started, she was very hesitant. She was worried that it wouldn't work because she had tried so many things already. She was discouraged because she wasn't sure anything would work. And she had what she described as the palate of a small child. She liked things like pizza, tacos, and spaghetti. But Sherry's decision to work with me turned out to be one of the best decisions she's made. She ended up losing 27 pounds and counting, and a combined 13.5 inches from her waist, bust, and hips. And her energy went from a 5 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10. Not to mention her internal transformation was amazing. She went from telling me she would need constant hand-holding to having a deep understanding of her body and her cycle. By the end of her time with me, her confidence shone through. I know that the term health coach can seem a little scary, and it might bring up visions of Huns or people on the Instagram encouraging you to down shakes like there's no tomorrow and live in toxic positivity. But I assure you that I actually got certified as an integrative nutrition health coach through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition and have completed supplemental certifications in both gut health and hormonal health. And of course, there are the years that I spent on my own weight loss journey with PCOS. I do this so you don't have to spend 12 years of your life in misery like I did. And there's also my Kundalini yoga teacher training. And this unique combination is what allows me to work with women on so many levels, from nutrition to exercise to chakras to limiting beliefs. I promise I won't be feeding you any BS about calories, shakes, or miracle workouts. I know a lot of you have been told by your doctors or by Google or by other PCOS influencers that there isn't a lot of hope when it comes to managing your weight and PCOS, or that you have to follow a super specific restrictive diet and work out 2 hours a day. You've been told it's hard, if not impossible, or that the only way to see progress is by taking birth control or metformin. Or you feel like you've already tried everything possible and think there is literally nothing else you can do. But I want you to know that I and all the women I've helped all experience that same feeling of being told, no, this is impossible over and over again, of receiving BS advice and thinking there's nothing out there for you, of trying every possible diet and exercise plan and feeling like a crazy person for working so hard with nothing to show for it. But there is help. My protocol is designed specifically for women with PCOS who want to naturally calm their symptoms and lose weight. This is all done through simple lifestyle changes. No pills, shakes, detoxes, none of that. My question is, do you want to be next? Remember, you showed up today because you want to take control of your body and your PCOS so you can love the way you look and feel. So if you're ready to commit to this journey, I am so ready to support you. I am dropping the link to enroll in the chat. So if you want more information or if you're ready to jump right in, you can go ahead and click that link in the chat or copy it and paste it into your browser. Or if you're on the phone, don't worry, I will be sending this in an email as well after. So, all right. So if this is something that you want to be a part of, if you know this is what you've been searching for, you can use the link I just dropped in the chat and we can get started as soon as possible. All right, so we did it. We have covered everything for today. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type those in the chat box. I'm going to come back on the screen now. If you don't have any questions, then thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate you spending time with me, and I'm so glad that you came and learned all of this stuff about PCOS weight loss made easy. I'm not seeing any questions. If you think of one after the fact, please feel free to shoot me an email. Like I said, I will also be emailing out that link and you'll get a replay as well for those of you who couldn't make it live. But again, thank you all so much for coming today. And I look forward to chatting with you all soon.